So, how to make an epic scientific PowerPoint presentation in 2023. And that's what we'll talk about today. I am breaking up this video into two parts. Today is part 1, the 7 surprising mistakes that people make when making PowerPoint presentation. I will also share when I do not and when I do use ChatGPT to help. Mistake number 1. Take graphs and figures directly from Excel without editing them. If you are going to use Excel figures in your PowerPoint presentation, you need to revise at least 3 elements: text, lines, and color schemes. So text. The text Excel uses are always gray in color. It's going to look washed out on your PowerPoint slides. So most likely you're going to have to revise it into black color. Lines. Lines have similar issues. It's always gray and it's almost always too thin. So I always change it to black color and I increase the line weight. And the third element is color scheme. So you want to make sure the color scheme of your figure is consistent with the rest of your presentation. And if there is a specific aspect of your data that you want to highlight, that column, that slice of the pie chart, and that particular dot on your line chart, you might want to revise it into a vivid color that stands out. So that's mistake number 1. By the way, welcome to Dr. XY's channel, where you hear about fun facts and useful knowledge about genetics from a board-certified clinical laboratory geneticist. I do lots of presentations. I made mistakes and I can share some tips too. Mistake number 2. Have the slides compete with you for the audience attention. So when does that happen? This happens when there are too many words on the slide. For most people, we use the left hemisphere of our brain to process words. So when there are lots of words on your slide, those words are competing with the words that are coming out of your mouth for the attention of your audience. In contrast, we use the right hemisphere of our brain to process images. So if your slides contain mostly images, then your audience can see and hear at the same time. To make sure that you both see and hear my video, I'm showing you some beautiful pictures of St. Louis where I'm giving a talk at a genetic conference. So now let's go to mistake number 3. Using I instead of we. A scientific presentation rarely presents the work of a single person. Sure, it might feel like you did all the work, but what about the people who came before you, who laid the foundation? And what about the people who got the grant, who got the resource to support your work? And what about those you asked for advice and troubleshoot when you have problems? So during a scientific presentation, saying I did so-and-so, it's just not professional. Mistake number 4. Using black background without doing homework. Here, the homework refers to understanding the equipment that will be used to present your slides. If you are presenting over Zoom, where you are sharing your own computer screen, or your presentation is going to be shown on a big TV screen, black background would work just great for your presentation. However, if your slides are going to be projected onto a wall or a canvas, black can be very risky. Why? Because for a projector, there are white lights, red light, and green light. There is no black light. Black light means no light. This makes your presentation to be vulnerable to the lighting condition of the conference room. So black is a risky choice in these situations. If you're not sure, use dark blue. Mistake number 5. Skip or rush through the acknowledgement slide. To me, the acknowledgement slide is the most important slide of my presentation because it's about people. It should never be rushed. You shouldn't rush through it when you prepare it, nor should you rush through it when you present it. A well-prepared acknowledgement slide makes your project appear more significant. It also makes you look more professional and collegial. Mistake number 6. Exceeding the time limit of your presentation. Sure, I know maybe you're only given 10-15 minutes to present 10 years of work, and there's so much to say. But the truth is, at the end of the time window that you're assigned to, your audience are just going to wait for you to stop. They cannot hear what you're presenting anymore. So please stay on time. Mistake number 7. Doing things in the wrong order. And this wastes so much time. Oftentimes, when we think about we have a talk coming up, we're going to give a presentation about our work, we immediately realize, oh, there is this very important point that I must illustrate, and I must illustrate it into perfection. So we just jump on to prepare those 1 or 2 key slides in our mind, and it takes so much time, and then we ran out of time. Then we just quickly couple together the rest of the presentation. Sure, those 1 or 2 slides might look great on their own, but because the rest of the presentation was rushed, it doesn't feel coherent, and it's very difficult for your audience to sit through. So instead of starting from details, one should always start from the big picture. What is the take-home message that you want to deliver? What is the overall structure that you want to design to make sure this message goes through? And then with each subcomponents, what are your contents? Make those contents. When they're all done, polish up the details so you can deliver a coherent presentation. In part 2 of how to make an epic scientific presentation in 2023, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step guide of my 9-step process of how to make a presentation. So stay tuned. So the bonus point today, what do I think about ChatGPT? Mainly 2 points. 1 is what I avoid, and 2 is when I use it. So when do I avoid it? I avoid using ChatGPT when I'm designing the overall structure of my talk, when I'm thinking about what is the take-home message of my whole talk, and what drives my passion, and how I deliver that passion to my audience. I tried similar request with ChatGPT. It just comes up things that feels safe and it's not wrong, but it just feels dry. It doesn't have that people feeling to it, so it doesn't help me. So for that part, I go through it myself. It's hard, but it's always rewarding. What do I use it for? I use it for its strong language ability. For example, for each slide, I always prefer to have a short summary of the take-home message of that slide. And when I write it myself, it always gets long and wordy. And if I take that sentence and I give it to ChatGPT to say, can you revise it into something shorter, make it succinct, make it sound stronger, it can give me options and I can pick and choose. I found that to be very helpful. So that's the bonus point of how I think of ChatGPT in helping with presentation. And that's it for today. We went over the 7 surprising mistakes people make when making a scientific presentation. Have you made any of those? I sure did. Feel free to share in the comment below. Thank you so much for visiting. Stay tuned for part 2 of the video, the 9-step guide of making an epic scientific presentation in 2023. Thank you so much for visiting. I will see you next time. Bye.